ladies, and welcome to my presentation on professional learning, our professional learning community plan. This is for Pinecrest School. Just took some of the interest of our school to kind of see what our teachers were wanting some professional development on. So, the who participates in our professional learning, our PLCs. Every member of the faculty will be in one professional learning community that includes all teachers, all support staff, and administrators. The what? Our focus is on professional learning through collaboration, working together, because that's where you learn the most. Set a goal to accomplish by the end of the year, and we're going to utilize multiple resources. Books, online journal articles, online videos, webinars, discussions, hands-on activities. I know we did some research on the professional learning communities, and they talked about use your social media as much as possible because you can get so much information off of social media. Twitter, which I'm not a big follower of Twitter because I just don't understand it, but I know it's a great outlet to use for education. Topic of the meetings will be decided by the members, not administration, so that the meetings will actually be very beneficial to the teachers. The content will help make the teachers a better educator. Keep a log of attendance so they know who will be there, and document all the discussion and learning topics of the meeting. So at the end of the year, central office will kind of have documentation of what's going on. Where? We will meet in an assigned areas around the school. You will always know that ahead of time, because if not, there will be confusion the day of, and that wastes time. Also, locations may change to meet the needs. Say, one of the PLCs one day may need the library to be able to watch a video up on a big screen, and you need a bigger area. It just kind of depends on what you need, or you might want to do something outside one day if you're doing some kinesthetic learning or something like that. The when. Meet once a month on a professional development day, and that is the day, of course, the students do not attend. The dates will be predetermined and placed on school calendar. Meet for around 4 hours. They will take place usually in the morning, so that afternoon you have time to do stuff in the classroom or do other meetings, faculty meetings with administrators. And then everyone, of course, is responsible for attending, because if you're not there, how can you learn new stuff? The why. Why do we need to do it? It's utilized to help members grow professionally. It allows for collaboration to take place. It helps you reinforce, improve, and expand your knowledge, and to apply new information in the classroom. If you learn new stuff, you bring it back to your classroom, makes it a better place. How? How are we going to implement this? Meet with administrators in May of the previous year, so that you can discuss with them strengths and weaknesses. I know we used to do this with what we called Educate Alabama, talking about our strengths and our weaknesses and kind of what we wanted to focus on the next year. Teachers and staff will rank their top 3 choices for PLC. They'll be given a list, rank the top 3. And then a PLC team will meet and put each member in their actual PLC group. And the PLC group will consist of the administrators and 1 member from each grade level. And so they'll take everybody's top 3 and say, okay, we have so-and-so, their top choice is this, let's put them here. You know, just kind of, so it's not just administrators having the brunt of the load here. You have other people helping as well. And then, this is something I just kind of thought would be fun, have a kickoff celebration, where you try to kind of boost the morale of professional development, because sometimes we do so much professional development we're all like, again, something else, you know. So just have something kind of fun where the teachers learn their professional learning community groups, and takes place at the beginning of the school year. So our professional learning communities, these are the ones that I kind of came up with. Educator effectiveness. We kind of do this now through our cohorts, so I thought this would be one to continue. Discuss strategies of becoming an effective educator. Some possible things you might discuss: quality questioning, standards, strategic teaching, professionalism. That's just some of the topics, because remember, the actual members will lead the discussion and lead what will be taught. Another one, new teacher. I think it's very important for new teachers to have a group kind of on their own so they can learn not only the standards and things like that, but they need to learn kind of the ropes of the school, how things happen, teaching them how the schedule works, stuff like that. Discipline, that was a big thing for me. Another one, Team Read. That's just a cute name for a reading PLC, where they focus on reading strategies, how to do proper, pull-outs for reading, small groups, just different stuff like that. And of course, if you have a reading, you gotta have math, because y'all know math's our hearts. And so I called it Counting on Math.
That's cute.
So you focus on, like I said, all things math. I know we do that during our planning time. We meet and collaborate, but this would be with teachers from not only other grade levels, but possibly other schools if we did this as a district. And so you can learn things from other educators. And the big thing I put on here is use the manipulatives. Because the way I use a manipulative is maybe different from how Cherie uses one. So it's great to learn and figure out different ways to use things in math. Another one, positive behavior intervention support, which is all about your discipline techniques, your rewards. I know we talk about discipline in it as well, because I know when I was a new teacher, that's one thing I kind of struggled with. It's hard, and it's different for every single group of kids you get. What you did one year is going to be different from what you did the next year. So it's good to see what other people are doing. Another one is Digital by Design, which is another cohort we're utilizing at our school right now. All about technology. Since we are going to be going one-to-one next year, we got a lot of learning to do of how to incorporate technology into our classrooms on a one-to-one basis. And lastly, this is just a final thought. I know we have watched this dude a lot over the years. He's pretty funny. I hope it plays. This is his final thought on some PLCs.
I'd like to take a minute to talk about PLCs, professional learning communities, or what I refer to as places ladies converse. These are meetings where teachers gather together to discuss very important educational things, such as data and progressing among the standards. There are two types of agendas that go along with PLCs in education today. The first is if your administrator is present. If your administrator is present at your PLC, the first 10 minutes is spent talking about best practices and what's been going on in education today. We use words like fidelity and differentiation. The next 20 minutes we lay out a bunch of data from an assessment that we have given, and it is color coordinated, red, yellow, green, and blue. And we discuss how we can move students who are struggling in red to yellow and yellow to green, and we can make our green students blue because we all want blue students. Then we talk about what we're going to do to move our students along the standards so that when we have the next assessment, we've got more greens and blues and less reds and yellows. Then we decide who's going to type up the minutes and email them to the principal, even though the principal's sitting right there in the room. Now, if your administrator is not present for a PLC, the agenda is a little different. The first 10 minutes is spent talking about things that are very important in our lives, like what we would have done if we had won $1.5 billion. We use words like Downton Abbey and Kardashian. The next 10 minutes is spent talking about the things the principal has been doing that's been getting on our nerves. Then we lay out our data, and we look at all of our red and yellow students, and we take about 15 minutes to talk about why the grade level below us sent us so many students that were red and yellow, and what they can do to make sure that doesn't happen next year. Then we take about 10 minutes to discuss who it is that's going to type up the minutes of our meeting, and we end up rock, paper, scissoring to decide on that person. And then the last 5 minutes of the meeting is used to discuss what we're going to do this weekend and whether anybody has any good buy one, get one free coupons to Applebee's. That's what PLCs are like in the educational system today.
Okay, so, a lot of what he says is true, of course. Sorry, Miss Barnett, but she knows that she was in our situation before becoming an administrator. So we want to utilize our time to the best of our abilities and do get stuff done in these PLCs, but it is important for teachers to have fun as well, because sometimes those professional learning days, they're kind of a time for us to breathe and kind of just relax for a day or so. So it's good for us to do it. But that is our professional learning plan. Of course, it's just a plan, and so it can be tweaked in however we need to do. And of course, a plan can always be tweaked, even in the middle of it, because you never know what's going to work and what's not going to work. So thank y'all for being here.
Yay.